everybody! In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a four-dimensional Santa riding a sleigh around the nail. So there's a piece of very fine wire that kind of wraps in a corkscrew around this very long stiletto, and then there's a little Santa and a reindeer on a bead. Each one has a bead behind it so that it can follow that wire as a track and fly down the nail. I did something quite similar a few years ago as far as a Santa and a sleigh and it flying around the nail, but it wasn't like it traveled down the nail, it was just in a perfect little circle. Really cool design, less detail. The Santa and the reindeer were just a silhouette in black. This one I think has a little bit more pizzazz to it, so I really like it. I hope you love it as much as I do, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well. Bye!
So we're going to begin by sculpting that beautiful background, and I'm going to start with one of my absolute favorite colors. This is the same color that I was raving about in my Nutcracker video. It's, I think, of the color called Snowflake or Snowflakes from Double Dip. It's just so pretty. And then we're going to do that kind of in the middle of the nail, then go to the tip of the nail and do a little ombre to black. When you're doing this, you can go back and forth between your blue and your black, and then I'm going to switch to a glittery blue, and I'm going to fill in the rest of the space that is available in the nail. And while that glittery blue is still wet, I'm going to be pressing in some little star glitters here and there within the glitter. So it's glitter with glitter. What could be better, right? Extra glitter. I'd like some blue with a side of glitter, please. And then after you have that done, we're going to take some white and we're going to be sculpting our moon. And whenever I do a night sky like this, I have to sculpt in a moon. If you don't want to, don't do it. But I think it just, I don't know, it just becomes a necessary element to any starry sky, such as this one, is to sculpt in that little moon. Keep it really thin though, so that when you encapsulate it, you don't end up filing it away. And then when you're done, we are going to do that infamous encapsulation that I just mentioned. Apply a layer of clear acrylic over the entire nail. Being that this is such a long nail, do not try to do it in one bead or two beads. Allow yourself the pleasure of taking your time and doing it slow and allowing and allotting for 3 or 4 beads and not trying to rush the process. And the reason I'm saying it quite this way is because usually when I'm encapsulating stuff, it isn't the fun part. It's not the art. It's not where you get to play with color or glitter. It's just the the mundane essentials that you just don't want to necessarily do. But if you try to rush it too much, it makes it so you have to do a lot more filing. And when you have to do a lot more filing, that's the other mundane part. So take a little more time with your encapsulation, take a little less time with your filing. That's my motto. Now going to the tip of the nail, we're going to be just sculpting in the little snowy hills. Use a color that is a white acrylic that has some glitter in it that isn't completely opaque. That way when you just press it in and add the little faded hills, it really ombres down quickly and easily. And you get a very deep effect. With some dark green, I'm going to be sculpting in a couple little evergreen trees on the hill. You don't have to worry so much about doing that on the closer hill, the foreground hill, but more so on that farther away hill. Little bit of green, and then after you get it into the triangle shape, take the tip of your brush and just flick out the sides. Add a little bit of snow on them if you want to. I personally actually liked them better before I added the snow. I think the little evergreen details showed up better, but the trees themselves were more obvious once you added the snow. So it was a toss-up. I liked the snow-covered trees, but I also liked the detail of them being unsnow-covered. And then going to the tip of the nail, at the very, very tip, we're going to be sculpting the house that Santa is on his way to. You can have so much fun with this. Color-wise, I personally wanted to do a color that was not otherwise used in this design, something, over the top and crazy. So I went with a berry-colored house, which I think is really pretty. I wouldn't mind having that color as my house. It's not red. It's not pink either. Can't imagine my husband would agree with having a pink house. I'd just like to see his face if I suggested it. I should do that. With glitter tucked in there somehow. A glittery pink house. Yeah, he'd probably pass out. But we're going to be doing our little berry colored house. I'm going to use yellow for my window. Using yellow in the window gives that homey, lights inside, people cozied up kind of feeling. Add a chimney. If you do add a chimney, don't forget to add some smoke coming out of it. I will show you how I do that in just a minute, but just keep that in the back of your mind that if you do sculpt in a chimney, you don't want it to be without that little smoke. I'm going to be giving my pink house pink shutters because, if we're going to go pink, we might as well go all the way. Should have been glittery though. I can't believe I didn't think about that. That would have really just been the thing. We're going to be adding those shutter on the other side. And then after you have those shutters done, you do need to add the roofs to your house. So I have the 2 layers of my house, like the bigger main part of the house and then that little forward part, which may be a porch or something of that nature. I'm going to be sculpting my roof just in white, bright white this time instead of that glittery kind of sheer white that I used for the hills in the background. This time a really bright, intense white. Add some snow on top of the chimney. You want to do white just because it's snow covered like everything else in this design, so you don't want to have, if you really wanted to go details, you could do say a gray or a brown roof to start with and then cover that with white, and a little bit of the gray may show through, but you can kind of skip that step and just go straight to the white if you want, which is obviously what I did. And then once you have those little bits done, then you're going to take a wet bead of white acrylic and you're going to kind of just spread it out and mess it around for your smoke. Then you're going to take and drill out, e-file out, remove a little bit of acrylic from above your moon. Press your piece of wire in so that it will, you can try to glue it. I did try to glue it. So dip it into some nail glue and then hold it there until the glue cures, which could be, it always feels like it's forever. Could be a while. Just hold it there. Once it's stable enough where it's not going to fall off, you're going to want to secure it with clear acrylic so it really isn't going to go anywhere. Once that's done, you can wrap it around the nail. Make sure you leave yourself plenty of room so that your Santa doesn't get stuck on the curves. So wrap it around the nail. Make sure it goes around at least once all the way. And then you're going to figure out exactly where it's going to end, and you're going to have to attach it behind the house. Now on a nail form backing, you're going to go through and you're going to sculpt your Santa and a reindeer. If you want to just do a single reindeer like I did, I think that is perfectly sufficient. If you are a super ambitious, amazing person, sculpt a whole row. So you would sculpt 5 reindeer if you're going to do the 4 rows of 2 and then Rudolph on the end. I wouldn't do all 9 because you can't really do the 2 layers very easily. But if you wanted to go all in for it, then you may want to do 5 and make one of them Rudolph. I, however, did not. The other thing to consider is if you are going to do that, you have to make them significantly smaller than I did so that they can all fit on the wire and turn around the nail. If there's too many of them, they won't all fit, at least not as easily. So you have to make them quite a bit smaller, at least half the size, I would say, to be safe. I am going to make the single reindeer that I did Rudolph, so I'm going to give him his red nose, add a little bit of a lighter color to the chest and to the belly. And then you're also going to want to do the antlers. Use a different shade of brown for the antlers than you used for the head and the body. And the other thing you could do if you were going to be a crazy person and sculpt 5 reindeer is that you could do them in slightly different positions of their flying movement. If you look up Santa and reindeer images, you can see that, sometimes their feet are more together or more apart depending on how they are in the motion of flying. Then on a separate nail form backing or the same one, however you want to do it, if you want to just sculpt next to your reindeer, you're going to want to sculpt Santa in his sleigh. Same thing, however much detail you want to put into this is totally up to you. If you are interested in that first video that I mentioned in the intro about the previous flying Santa post that I did, I did not do that one with acrylic. The actual Santa and reindeer I did with black gel paint. At the time, it was on a nail form backing, which I now wouldn't recommend. I would do that on a silicone nail art mat because it'll just go a little easier for you. But then you just paint them. And if you're somebody that prefers to paint, you can still do that. If you just use a whole bunch of different colors of gel paint, you're going to paint your Santa and your reindeer with the gel paint and then bulk them up with some clear builder gel. And that is certainly an alternative option for you. And, one that I actually probably would think is easier than doing them with acrylic. Acrylic can be really finicky. And so if that sounds like a better option for you, go ahead. And like I said, there's more detailed instructions for that in that past video. And you can kind of get an idea then if you like this style and you might want to do it in a different way, a different flying method, that one is the video for you. So we've got the Santa sleigh, the runners, and I want to thank all of my lovely subscribers that helped me out with the word runners, because in my Grinch video, I did not know what to call that part of the sleigh. For the Grinch's sleigh, I had all sorts of different words for it. And if you want to laugh, that may be a video to go see. But anywho, we've got our Santa sleigh, the runners in gold, and then we're going to have our little Santa sitting there. Keep your details at a minimum just because it's not that much space. He is so teeny tiny. Like you can see it compared to my fingers there. It is so small. Any minute detail is going to, make you go crazy. So just don't worry about it. And after you have both of them done, you're going to glue a bead, a small little jewelry bead to the back of the reindeer and to the back of Santa. And before you go any further, you're going to want to secure those with some clear acrylic or acrylic of a complementary color to the Santa and the reindeer. So red for your Santa and brown for the reindeer. But just easier if you just do it with clear, and then you don't have to worry about matching the color to the different ones, and clear acrylic tends to be a little stronger. Once you have that done, you're going to string your Santa onto your wire first, and then your reindeer on. And I know earlier I said to secure them underneath the house. I didn't mean to do it right then. I just meant cut it off where it's going to be secured and kind of plan it out. So after you have those two on there, the Santa and the reindeer, you can cut off that extra wire and just hold it underneath the nail. And then you're going to secure it just like you did with the other piece with a little bit of nail glue and or some clear acrylic. You don't want to just do nail glue, but if you want to just do acrylic, sometimes that's easier. So just hold that in place in the clear acrylic. You have to make sure you hold it until the clear acrylic is fully set though, otherwise it'll pull itself out. So you just have to hold it, be patient. It does take a little while depending on the acrylic system you're using. It may take 10 minutes, which is a little tedious just to be sitting there holding it. If you're using a faster setting acrylic, you might be out of there in a minute, 2 minutes. Then you're going to take and glue a piece of wire to the back of your Santa piece, secure that with clear acrylic, and then you're going to string your reindeer so he's close by. Before they get attached to each other, they fly around the wire a lot easier than when they do get stuck to each other. So you're going to try to carefully hold it so that your reindeer and your Santa are in line with each other. And you're going to take that piece of wire that you have, cut it off so it's the length that you want to separate Santa from the reindeer. And you're going to glue your reindeer, and I'm actually using acrylic to glue him down. You're going to grab him and you're going to glue that wire to the back of your reindeer as well. Hold that in place just like you did for the wire on the tip of the nail until it is cured. And then with some acrylic paint, you can add details. You can detail your Santa, you can detail the sleigh, the reindeer, the little house that we did way back when. Whatever you feel like you want to add details to, go ahead and add them. If you want to keep this really simple and not really detail it, that is certainly an option as well. The one thing that I would probably recommend doing is giving your Santa Claus eyes. Other than that, you could just call it good. And as far as detailing the rest of the background goes, you've got those little trees that were sculpted in, and you've got the background with the moon. If you wanted to go, and really detail this a lot, you could add details to the moon, some shading on the moon. You could paint in some little snowflakes by hand in the background. You could add, highlights and shading to your trees. You could really go crazy, but that would be up to your discretion. And, if you do it, and if you do any of these recreations, if you make anything cool, Christmassy, whatever it is, I want to see it. I want to see all your guys' amazing nail art. Even if you guys make something that's really cool and isn't a recreation of mine, I still want to see it because, we all need to have a little bit more cool stuff seen in the world. There's too much drama out there. We need to spend our internet time looking at cool things that somebody made instead of horrible things that really nobody needs to see. There's so much, world news, that's different, but there's certain people that specifically put out content on the internet that shames certain groups of people or is derogatory in some way. And it's so popular, it's so prevalent, and I just wish it would go away. It makes money though. That's how the world works. So we're going to be doing outlines here and there. Whatever you need to do, when you're finished with it, apply some gel sealer over the whole entire nail. Can you guys see the glitter in the background of that? Oh my goodness, it is so pretty. I love applying gel sealer to anything that's got glitter in it because as soon as you apply that gel sealer, it just looks so amazing. It's my favorite part. Apply that to the background, apply some matte top coat over your Santa Claus, over your reindeer, Mr. Rudolph, and then over the house and the chimney. And then that is it. If you want to add any other details to this, go for it. Otherwise, he's done and he's so much fun and he flies around. He almost flies around all on his own, but if you want to give him some encourage and help him fly around without just the use of gravity, you certainly can. It is really one of the coolest things. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. Don't forget to share those recreations and non-recreations with me. I really want to see them. Fill my day with something that'll make me smile. Always my motto. And definitely check the description box for any of those past videos as well as the colors I used, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!